Music video is one of the most influential visual culture that can portray meaning and tell stories through densely textured images and sound. As quoted by Bernard Herrmann, music lifts mere dialogue into the realm of poetry. It is a communicating link between the screen and the audience, reaching out and enveloping all into one single experience. Now, in a quest for a critical and comprehensive approach to music video analysis and interpretation, I, Gisela de Fonturum, alongside with other researchers, Jeremy Almasco, Julia Ebarbia, Bea Lorio, Sara Malinaw, Nadine Nonato, and Angelo Saldo presents a multimodal critical discourse analysis of the music video of Glock 9's Upuan. Here is a quick overview of our research paper discussion.
Each person has a unique interest in music. Those who listen to it can find happiness in it. On the contrary, the music should always correspond with its pictures by the video clips, including gesture, tempo, color, etc. This qualitative research sought to learn more about the Upuan music video by Glock 9. Specifically, it investigates the visual and linguistic semiotics used in the music video. Moreover, the study utilized multimodal critical discourse analysis focused on the visual grammar framework of Kress and Leuven and the analysis of the selected video clips of Glock 9's Upuan. The linguistic semiotics were investigated through the conceptual metaphor theory of Lakoff and Johnson. The findings indicate that the visual representations in the music video employed a variety of semiotic modes vital for the purpose of meaning-making. In linguistic semiotics, the structural metaphors are found to be domineering all other types of conceptual metaphors in the lyrics. It is a commonly used metaphor observable in the way human beings think, perceive, and are involved in their daily activities. The findings suggest that this music video has gained notoriety as a revolutionary classic because it exposes the absurd beliefs of government officials, their preference for self-interest over the common good, as well as how unfairly prejudiced the lower socio-economic brackets are in relation to the elites.
Let's now begin to the introduction of our research. So first, I will be discussing the research presentation that explores the multimodal critical discourse analysis of Glock 9's music video Upuan. So, the research presentation aims to examine the different modes that used in the music video to convey its message and the socio-political context within which this message operates. So, we all know that Glock 9 is a Philippine rapper known for his socially conscious and politically charged lyrics. The music video Upuan tells a story of poverty, inequality, and corruption in the political system of the Philippines. So it utilizes various modes, including visual and linguistic, to communicate its message. So by analyzing these two different modes, the research presentation provides a deeper understanding of how the music video constructs and reinforces certain ideologies and socio-political issues. So, in using multimodal critical discourse analysis, we will examine how the lyrics of the song and the visual elements in the music video work together to articulate the issues related to political corruption and social inequality in the Philippines. So, the objective of this study is to determine a multimodal critical discourse analysis of Glock 9's Upuan. So, specifically, it aims to investigate how meanings are constructed and communicated using various modes such as linguistic and visual communication. So, the analysis might look at how language, images, symbols, and music are used to create particular meanings and messages, and how these are received, interpreted by audiences in different contexts. So, therefore, this research aims to demonstrate how multimodal critical discourse analysis can be used to examine the intersection of language, music, and visual elements in a music video. So, the analysis would help to understand how Glock 9's music video, Upuan, reflects and challenges the prevailing social and political issues. So let's now proceed to the research question.
This study aims to analyze the music video Upuan by Glock 9, employing a multimodal critical analysis approach. Specifically, it sought to answer the question, how does the visual and linguistic semiotic is associated to Glock 9's Upuan music video? This question addresses the main issue, which is to determine the semiotic, both visual and linguistic, and how it was linked in the music video.
The rapid growth in communications media, such as television, cell phones, internet-mediated services, and entertainment, created new media for language use, therefore making the language more susceptible to scrutiny and investigation by analysts. The sprawling of media extends the analysis of meanings into a wider context of communication. From discourse and critical discourse analysis, multimodal critical discourse analysis, or MCDA, was developed to take into account other sources of meaning. It is to include semiotic systems that replace speech or writing in signaling meaning. So this study focused on the music video and its nature of having multiple semiotic modes will employ the MCDA approach in understanding the construed meaning. This is limited to analyzing how the linguistic and visual semiotics of the music video were able to communicate the intended message to the audience. Hence, this will employ the visual grammar framework of Kress and Lubin in analyzing visual semiotics, and the conceptual metaphor theory of Lakoff and Johnson will be utilized for analyzing the linguistic semiotics. Visual grammar, or the grammar of visual design, is a framework developed by Kress and van Leeuwen in 1996 and later modified in 2006. It is an adaptation of systemic functional grammar framework of Halliday, comprising of three metafunctions of language: the ideational, interpersonal, and textual. So Kress and van Leeuwen adopted these linguistic models to be utilized in analyzing the visual semiotic system. Visual grammar composes of three metafunctions, or different types of meaning, namely representational, interactive, and compositional. Representational meaning organizes the relationship between the object in an image and the represented participants. So it is divided into two types, the narrative and the conceptual. The interactive meaning is concerned with the producer, the viewer, and the represented object's social relation realized by contact, social distance, attitude, and modality. The compositional meaning is the composition of the whole, in which the elements of representational and interactive are made to relate to each other through three interrelated systems, such as information value, salience, and framing. In analyzing the linguistic semiotics of this study, the conceptual metaphor theory, which was first introduced by Lakoff and Johnson in 1980, will be employed. So George Lakoff and Mark Johnson introduced conceptual metaphor theory in their book Metaphors We Live By, asserting that metaphors are used both in everyday language use and human thought processes are largely metaphorical, reflecting the experiences and perceptions of the world. The theory goes back to the view of metaphors as a conceptual tool for structuring, restructuring, and creating reality, and not just an ornamental device in language. Lakoff and Johnson classify conceptual metaphor into three major types: the structural, orientational, and ontological metaphor. The structural metaphor helps the readers understand the concept through another concept. The mental concept of the abstract metaphor is incorporated into the structure of the concrete concept. It is the commonly used metaphor as it structures the daily activities of human beings through the way they think, notice, and do. Orientational metaphor deals with matters related to spatial orientation, such as how vertical orientation is denoted by the up and down position, and inward or outward for horizontal orientation. Federiani explains that humans have the ability to interpret concrete experiences with spatial orientation due to the fact that the body and the environment are deeply related. When an event or feeling can be understood through an abstract object, it is an ontological metaphor. It always involves human senses, experiences, and expressions of mental phenomena.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jeremy Dubri Almasco, and I'm going to discuss with you the research design and method of analysis we use for this study. In this research, the researchers use qualitative research design in order to know the multimodality in the music video upuan. The choice of this research method is because it aims to understand the meaning. Its goal is to demonstrate how personal meaning is created in the music video of the upuan song. The data comes from Black Nine's music video for Upuan that was uploaded to YouTube in 2009. The lyrics and images from the music video are the data collected. In analyzing the data, the researchers used Kress and Van Leeuwen's visual grammar for the visual analysis by identifying the visual elements based on the three meta function. First is representational, second is interactive, and third is compositional. The researchers also conduct linguistic semiotic analysis and utilizing Lakoff and Johnson's conceptual metaphor theory to examine the use of metaphors to convey meaning.
Let's come now to the result and discussion. The multimodal critical discourse analysis of Glocknine's Upuan reveals the underlying power relations between Philippine society. First, the lyrics of song reference specific events and historical moments that has shaped Philippine society. Second, the visuals in the music video further reinforce this message. They use black and white tones and images of poverty and violence work to create a somber, dark atmosphere. Third, the song's music and tone also play a significant role in the message it conveys. Overall, this multimodal critical discourse analysis of Glock 9 Suplaan highlights the ways in which language, visuals, and music interact to create a message about power relations in Philippine society.
So let's proceed to the representational meta function. So when we say representational meaning in Chris and Leon's visual grammar framework, it is divided into two types. First is the narrative and second is the conceptual. So when we say narrative representation, it explains the action of participants. So the analysis would take a look at inanimate participant that has an action. So this means that the analysis focuses on actions or behaviors of non-living objects or things. It can also refer to the study of actions and movements that do not involve any conscious or intentional decisions or actions taken by a human being. So as we analyze the music video, we can see how narrative representation is used to construct an image that has a corruption and poverty in our country, which is the Philippines. So we can see the use of different modes like visual and linguistic that communicates the narrative representation.
Conceptual representational is a type of representational that differs significantly from narrative representational. Lacking the timeless quality of narrative representational, in this music video, there are two visual elements that can be examined. First is narrative representational, second, conceptual representational. The most common form of conceptual representational is through symbolic process, the primary one on the music video. Symbolic process come in two varieties. First is symbolic attributive, and second is symbolic suggestive. One of the society's worst game is politics. They are killing one another to get power, position that will give them the great power and provide them the freedom to do whatever they like. Corruption is one of the issues in politics, and one of the most affected by that problem is the poor sector of our society. Glock 9 wrote the song Upuan as a call for those who have the power, the capacity to transform the lives of others. Glock 9 created a music video for the song to help people fully understand and relate to it. The music video for the song features three men covering their eyes, mouth, and ears with their hands, two people seated on a chair, and a man kneeling below the chair. The point made in frame 1 is that many people would rather turn a blind eye and deaf ear to the wrongdoings of powerful people. Frame 2 and 3 display individuals who are impacted by the people who are greedy for power and wealth. Frame 4 shows the man kneeling below the chair and the person seated in it. The music video presents a series of images from different eras, including a man holding a pot, two seats highlighting the gap between the wealthy and the less fortunate, and a man with a red cloth over his mouth. A man kneeling on the side of a chair, and a chair representing the position of people in society. This image portrays hunger, inequality, corruption, and need for people to become more aware of the government's use of taxpayer money, and the video aims to convey a message to the government to take step back and consider the people's situation.
In frame 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 8 demands contact from the viewers because the image is looking to the viewers. From their faces, which is clearly demanding on the viewers that they express something through the expression in the eyes and their posture. However, the remaining images are not included in the interactive contact because the images in figure 6, 9, and 10 did not demand contact from the viewers because the images itself don't have a person or something on the image that it didn't express the interactive contact because it doesn't have the expression through the eyes and the postures. Interactive social distance. When we say social distance, it is referring to the distance between participants and the interactive participants. It means that the distance between the participants as well as the viewers in the graph. In figure 7 and 8 represents the interactive social distance because the producer of this content want to present better or to give better distance between the visual image and the viewers. While in figure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10 are not included in interactive social distance because the image is in normal vision.
The third interactive meta function is attitude. The visual elements in the music video encode subjective attitudes using horizontal and vertical angles, in contrast to scientific and technical images that encode objective views. Horizontal angles include frontal and oblique ones, indicating producers' involvement and detachment of the represented participants respectively. On the other hand, vertical angles indicate power relationships between viewers and represented participants. All figures were videoed from frontal angles. In figure 1, three men can be seen which represent low-class individuals. In contrast, a man is sitting in the chair which represents the government and reflects how they handle the government. Thus, most of the shots are the frontal angle, indicating engagement with the subjects in the figures. The fourth interactive metafunction is modality. Modality has been restricted to expressions of possibility and necessity. In other cases, it has been used as a cover term for expressions of speaker's attitude. The music video Upuan by Glock 9 is rendered with low modality through the use of low sensory modality, specifically not to saturated colors, detailed background, deep perspective, and lighting. Throughout the figure 1, the presence of light and shadow are completely shown. On the other hand, in figure 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 utilize the use of lighting, which switch to the absence of light and shadow. Almost all the figures depict a different perspective through different backgrounds in the music video.
Compositional metafunction and information value. The reader is more likely to engage with something that is important to them. The higher the information value, the more likely it is that the piece of content will be remembered and used for future reference. The perceived importance of a piece of content is represented by its information value. The music video portrays the reality of what is going on in our country. It depicts what our politicians and government officials do behind closed doors when they are not being filmed. The video was made to show people that some politicians and government officials are only interested in using our money for their own personal gain.
The term salience refers to how noticeable something is. Salience is important in design because it influences what users pay attention to. In turn, what users pay attention to influences their decisions, which in turn influence their actions. A number of factors should be considered when attempting to determine the most prominent element in a given image. These are the following: size, sharpness of focus, color contrast, and visual field placement. Salience helps in determining what is most important in an image because it is the part that your eyes are drawn to first. Color, placement, size, and layout all play a role in determining what salient part of an image is.
When writing lyrics, many songwriters use figurative language to make their songs more lively and meaningful. One of the types of the figurative language used is a metaphor. Now, as part of the MCDA approach, the researchers utilized the conceptual metaphor theory by Lakoff and Johnson to interpret the underlying meaning of the lyrics and how metaphors are used to convey message. Further, according to Lakoff and Johnson, there are three types of conceptual metaphor. These are structural, orientational, and ontological. The use of structural metaphor in the song exceeded ontological and orientational metaphors with 6 occurrences or 50%. Ontological metaphor follows the sequence, garnering 4 frequencies or 33.33% in the song, whereas orientational gained 2 occurrences or 16.67%, making it the least used conceptual metaphor in the song. The results of the analysis reveals that among all other types of conceptual metaphor, structural is the most employed metaphor in the meaning-making of the lyrics of Black Nine's Upuan, justifying Lakoff and Johnson's statement that it is a commonly used metaphor observable in the way human beings think, perceive, and are involved in their daily activities. The association of abstract things like human feelings, ideas, or events to something concrete like an object or thing give rise to ontological metaphor. Furthermore, orientational metaphor deals with concepts that can be understood as spatially interrelated with each other. To sum up, all these types of conceptual metaphor were able to convey the societal issues portrayed in the song, such as the extreme cases of the increasing percentage of poverty. Also, it was revealed that the song was a tirade to politicians whose self-interests are given more focus than their political obligations to the society.
The purpose of this study is to examine how music was able to transmit meaning and address societal challenges. Glockner's Upuan music video is an excellent example of data with a complex interplay of various modes that warrants the use of the MCDA technique. The meanings of songs are not exclusively determined by their linguistic components, the lyrics. The significance or goal of the music video and lyrics can be deduced by the researchers. It was revealed that the message addressing the intractable societal difficulties that the Philippines has been confronting was carried out through various semiotics. Furthermore, the various symbolisms exhibited in the music video, as well as the utilizations of metaphors in the lyrics, made it clear that it is a rant against the current state of Philippine politics.